that out there. Okay, moving on. Nathan Stanley says, Bill, how do conservatives balance the rule of law and willingness to defy authority? As the party of fast cars, loud guns, and hot women. Thank you, Nathan. How do we justify taking your Camaro 120 miles an hour down the highway as opposed to driving exactly the speed limit, for example? That is a superb question. My first response would be, as an American, I would just tell you, first of all, Nathan, that there are some laws that are made to be broken, and the speed limit is one of them. But I'm not an unreasonable guy. I might do, if the traffic's moving 65 or 70 miles an hour, I might be doing 80, 85, or 90. Scott should kill himself. That's awesome. Oh, that's Ott's twin. I wonder if this is the guy who was trolling Scott Ott's thing. I'm assuming it's a joke, but we'll see. We'll find out in a minute. Anyway, so to answer your question, Nathan, if the speed of traffic is 65, 70 miles an hour and I'm doing 85, 80, 90 miles an hour, and I get caught, I deserve a ticket. If I'm speeding that fast and I get caught, I'm not going to argue about it and I'm not going to cry about it. It's a risk I took. I knew what the risk was. And in California, that kind of ticket, is something like $600. I mean, it's extremely severe. But I'm not gonna cry about it because I'm breaking the law. Now the question is, what right do I have to break that law? I don't have any right to break the law. So let's just be clear about this. If it's breaking the law, and the reason I break the law every day is because, well, I don't break it every day. I live in Los Angeles. If you want my short answer about speeding, Nathan, I do 100 miles an hour when I can. I never do 100 miles an hour, but I'll do 80 when I can because I'd like to get my average speed on the freeway up to 20 miles an hour. My feeling is I'd spend so much time on the freeway doing 3 or 4 miles an hour that by doing short bursts of 80 to 85, then I can bring my freeway average up to 20, 25 miles an hour. But there is a serious answer to this, and it goes to the way you phrase the question. I think I can do 80 miles an hour, 85, 90 miles an hour in traffic, and most of the traffic down here when there's no freeway traffic is moving at 70 anyway. So let me be clear about this because I think this is a superb question. I'll do 85 or 90 miles an hour in traffic because the speed limit is the limit at which the worst driver in the most poorly maintained car presumably can safely navigate that road. I mean, that makes sense, right? You have to, you have to, if I see one more negative Scott Ott thing from this troll here, he's just going to get banned right now. That's all there is to it. The speed limit is designed for the worst driver in the worst car to be safe. That's why it's a limit. All right, I'm sorry. It's just annoying. It's annoying other people and it's annoying me. And let's get this guy out of here. See ya. I'm a better driver than 98, 99% of the people on the road, and I have a much better maintained and a much more capable car. I have a car that's got great acceleration, has tremendous braking. But here the point gets interesting. That to me says I'm willing to push the speed limit to 85 or 90. That's fine. But you said 120. Me doing 120 down the freeway is reckless endangerment of other people. I know this is me making my own decision, and to some degree you're right. I don't really have the right to do that in terms of the law. The law says I have to do 65, and maybe I'll do 85. But my feeling is that even though I'm willing to pay the price for doing 85 miles an hour, at 85 miles an hour with my reflexes in my car and the fact that I'm such a defensive driver, I'm 6-7 seconds ahead of that car, that I think I'm safe at 80 miles an hour. In fact, I know I'm safe at 80 miles an hour. I'm quite certain I'm safer at 85 miles an hour in my Camaro than the people that are doing 65 miles an hour fixing their makeup or with a tire that's about to come off. So it's a question of, when it gets down to it, that's why I like this question so much. I believe that you should be able to do anything you want to, swing your arm as long as you want to, as long as you don't hit somebody else in the nose. And so I can justify this, and when I say justify, I don't mean make something untrue true. I mean, I come to a decision saying, If I'm going faster than the speed limit and I get caught, I'm going to have to pay a significant ticket, and that's appropriate because I broke the law. But driving 80 in a 65 zone is well within my abilities. It's well within the abilities of my car, and it is especially within my abilities, not just in terms of reflexes, but in terms of my situational awareness. I'm constantly watching the traffic, and this is going to come as a shock to most people, but it doesn't matter where I am on the road. I always have an out, and if I don't have an out, I slow down. What I mean by that is, if something catastrophic happens, I know where I'm going to go, and if I don't have someplace to go, I'll slow down. So on some level, we all break laws every day, and speeding is the number one reason, right? Everybody speeds that I know. I mean, really, if you tell me you've never once sped, forget speeding ticket. There are a lot of people that haven't ever gotten a ticket. But if you're telling me you've never gone faster than the speed limit, I just don't believe you. So the question then becomes, what is the purpose of that law? The speed limit law is a really interesting thing, actually. When you get right down to it, the speed limit law is a very interesting law because it's broken all the time, right? I mean, it's broken all the time. Assuming the traffic is not backed up on the freeways here or on the freeways anywhere in the country, if the speed limit is 60, let's say, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are doing 65, 70, 75. So that law is broken with complete impunity. And so if that law is broken with such impunity, why is it there? And the reason the speed limit law is there, in my opinion, is because it is not so much an ironclad rule as it has a suppressive effect. If there was no speed limit, people wouldn't be doing 80 in a 60 zone. They'd be doing 120 in a 60 zone, or 120 because there is no 60 zone. Then people would be... The speed limit is suppressive to the degree that in a 30 mile an hour zone, I might do 40, 45 miles an hour without even realizing it, but I won't do 60 miles an hour in a 30 mile an hour zone, and so it suppresses the speed. It may not actually be doing the legal speed, but it certainly suppresses it, and enforcement further depresses the speed. If you there's a stretch of the highway, stretch of Interstate 5 between the south end of Los Angeles and the north end of San Diego. It's right down by San Onofre Nuclear Plant and long stretch by Camp Pendleton. It's probably a 7-8 mile stretch, and most of it's straight as an arrow. And I have never been down that road when the traffic was moving, when every car was doing 75 miles an hour. So it's an interesting thing. Now, if they started putting policemen on that stretch of road every day and just simply writing tickets every single day, then the speed limit would come down there. But to the larger law question, it goes to, I kind of want to just go to the next questions because this one deals with, there's one about rights.